Hi survivors, welcome back. So I almost didn't make a video this week, and it's not because God wasn't speaking, but it's because I wasn't listening the way I should have. And so I had to completely check myself today and remember why I'm doing this and recognize that the lack of hearing the voice of God this week is also part of my survival journey. So, our text this week comes from Genesis chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, and it reads: Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of day. And they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" He answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." So, guys, this week was a rough week for me. There was a lot going on at work, and because of everything I had going on at work, I completely neglected my entire self-care plan. So, where I said that I would be leaving work by 4, didn't do that. Where I'm supposed to log onto Zoom and work out with my mom 4 days a week, didn't do that either. Where I'm supposed to power down my computer by 7 p.m. and relax, play with the dog, talk to the Lord, read things that aren't school related. I didn't do any of those things this week, guys. And when I tell you my whole self took a hit because of it, I took a hit. And so it left me at the end of the week in a space of frustration and angst, and I felt empty as a result of me not doing what it was that I had said that I was going to do. And so in today's text, it's my belief that the reason the Lord calls out to Adam when he's in the garden is not because he's looking for him, right? Because we know that God is omniscient. He knows everything. He knows exactly where Adam is. He knows exactly what tree he's behind. And not only does he know what tree he's hiding behind, he also knows why he's hiding. But it is my understanding and interpretation of this word today that God isn't calling for him, he's calling Adam out. And so it's really more of a like, bruh, get it together. What are you doing? Type of call out that I feel like the Lord is doing for Adam there. That he is literally giving him an opportunity to be reflective on his behavior, what he did, and what it resulted in. And so I feel like this is something that the Lord did for me today. It was a legit like, yo, Kia, what are you doing and why? He called me out. He literally is, giving me an opportunity to check myself and call a thing a thing. And so that's what today is for me. Today is my call a thing moment. All this week, I knew that I was doing entirely too much. I knew that I was skipping the valuable parts of my routine, and I did it anyway under the guise of, well, it has to be done. And now, this isn't the first time. I've spent several years of my life running like the Energizer bunny. Just, I keep going and going and going, and I will literally keep going until the Lord puts me in a physical timeout, like to the point that my body can't do anymore. And he started with that on Wednesday. That's what he led with. On Wednesday, I woke up and my throat was a little sore. I was a little congested. I was feeling kind of weak, but I took a COVID test and it was negative. And so I was like, bet, I'm still rocking. Y'all, it's amazing the way we just find ways to rationalize our mess, right? Instead of saying, you know what, Kia, it's time to chill because you don't feel good. Nah, I don't have COVID, so I can keep moving. Like, I really have to do better with that. So this week, it wasn't the physical timeout that brought me to acknowledge that I needed to chill. It was internal. It was a discomfort in my soul. And it presented itself in the form of anxiety about some things that were happening at work. And so I knew that it was deeper than just me being in my feelings because it was interfering with my time with God. My stress and my frustration about what was taking place at work was preventing me from making it through my devotional, through my prayers, and even through my sleep without my thoughts being redirected back to that thing that was happening at work. And so while I was going and going and going, and I knew that I needed to rest physically, which I did as a matter of fact on yesterday. When I say I loafed yesterday, I completely loafed. Like I melted into the couch from 9 a.m. to like 8:30 p.m., which I absolutely needed. I gave my body that physical rest, but it wasn't just physical rest that I was in need of. It was rest for my soul. My actions this week created a soul disturbance. A disturbance is defined as an interruption of a settled or peaceful condition. Y'all, prior to this week, my soul was settled. It was peaceful, y'all, but not this week. Like this week, every time I went to pray, every time I was reading my devotionals, when I laid down to sleep, all of these things that were going on were clouding my mind, clouding my head, which is something that's very familiar to me because it's something that I've experienced for years, but had not recently. And so I knew that my soul was disturbed. But all praise to the God that calls us out. Not because he doesn't know what we're doing or why we're doing it, but because he gives us this opportunity, he gives us this nudge to basically say, like, get yourself together, right? He calls us out and so that we can acknowledge what we're doing, so that we can recognize what we're doing and we can come back, right? And the amazing thing about the nudge of God is that our disobedience doesn't prevent it from happening. It didn't prevent it from happening for Adam, and it doesn't prevent it from happening to us. Because while our actions may cause a disturbance, the power word in the definition of disturbance is that it creates an interruption. Not a halt, it creates an interruption. And an interruption only happens for a segment of time. So it's a comma or maybe even a semicolon, depending on what we've done, but it's not a period. Because our actions might hold up God's plan, but we can't derail him. So this week, y'all, my focus is on prioritizing, doing what I can, when I can, and then ensuring that I don't fill up my calendar, my day, and especially not my mind with so many things that they spill into the room that I've made for God and devoted of my time with him. And so this week, it's my intention to bring rest back to my soul. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. This is video number 12. We are going to be in April next week, y'all. It's going to be April. I do want to remind you guys quickly that I will be starting a book club, a women's book club called the Survival Circle. It will be a combination of virtual and in person, maybe kind of, sort of. I don't know yet. But if it's something that you might be interested in, there is a Google form link in the description box, and feel free to click that link and leave your information so that I can get back to you once I have coordinated all of that. So I thank you guys for listening. I pray that you have a phenomenal week. This has been the Survival Guide. See you next time.